G'day traders, 1 minute mindset reset. Today talking about specializing in your session. So a lot of people have messaged me, asked me, they're following 10, 12 instruments. They're having trouble finding trades because they've got too much to try and follow. They don't know really what they're looking for. My advice is to pick one or two currency pairs for the session that you can trade. If so, obviously in Perth we've got access to 3 sessions. I do not really, as I've talked about, I will only look at certain things beginning of Asia and London if they are high and low of the day or of the week, level 3, level 1. And the reason why that is they are setups that will present coming out of the US session or coming out of a 3-session setup at the high of the day in London, for example, or at the beginning of the day here in Perth, coming out of a US session where they've trapped volume up high at the end of the close for a capitulation type move on a day 3 or a day 2 type setup. But if you're going to trade in the US session, if you're trading in Northern Hemisphere, pick a couple of pairs. The euro, the Canadian dollar, maybe an index. Look and track those over 2 and 3 days to identify the best setups. If you're trading in the Southern Hemisphere, maybe the Aussie dollar, the Japanese yen. If you're only trading Asia, you could be looking at, I don't typically follow the crosses. My advice is to keep things really simple, follow the majors. I know some people like to follow and just trade the crosses. That's entirely up to you. Gold, oil, S&P, NASDAQ. I mainly am looking at those 4 markets for the US session, and I'm really looking for one great trade. So if I get a scalp during the day in London, or there's a scalp in Asia, what I consider to be a scalp, unless it's a level 3 or a level 1 move, those are the vertical compressed trades that will go 50 plus pips in 15 to 30 minutes. That's all I'm looking for. I want explosive trades, which is why I'm content to sit over the 3 sessions and wait for New York, because that usually establishes a high and a low and gives me an idea. Is it a buy low setup, a sell high setup, 3 levels, or is this a 3-day setup? It could be an explosive. We saw 2 explosive days on oil, S&P, NASDAQ, Thursday, Friday. Massive moves. Those trades alone are worth sitting all week and doing nothing else. So specialize and understand the instrument that you're trading. Don't track the pound and try to trade it through Asia, London, and New York, or just trying to trade London every single day, because you're going to have day 1, day 2, day 3, level 1, level 2, level 3. It might be a level 2 where it's a creeping trend, and you're trying to trade the creep and wondering why it's going 25 or maybe 20 and pulling back and all that sort of stuff. And it might be a day 3 or a day 4 trade from level 3 straight down. What does the calendar have on it? RBZ. I don't ever trade the New Zealand dollar, but when the RBZ is on the schedule, I look at it for that week to see how it sets up, to see how accurate my analysis is. But that market can move 50 pips. The news might take it up high like it did last week. It locked in the volume, and at the end of the London window, took out the high of the 3-hour window. So again, study the 3-hour highs and lows, understand the 3 levels, and it just fell and faded from there for 50 pips. But compare that to waiting for the New York session, where the market can move 50 pips in 5 minutes. I would rather just sit and wait. But again, understanding what those setups look like and specializing in your pair, in your time zone, in that instrument, looking for 1 or 2 great trades. Don't try to trade every single move. Understand that a 50 pip collapse is different than 25 creeping trend sitting in there for 2 hours and getting 25 later. A 50 pip collapse from a level 3 or an explosive 50 pip move from a level 1 is a scalable trade setup. There's a completely different model there. So specialize, understand exactly what you're looking for, identify the best setups for that pair, the timings, and again, it's very specific to time. Don't sit there for 4 hours. Go there at the London Open. Go there at the New York Open. Understand the levels that you're trading from. What is the setup? What is the profit potential? What is your risk on that trade? Execute, get off the screen, lock it in. Hopefully you got value from today's video, traders. Specialize and master your instruments and your craft. Have a great day. Beginning of the week. Start it off right. May the markets go with you.